Welcome to this EvalIndigenous Voice Projects recording. My name is John Njovu. I'm the coordinator of the Voice Project in Africa. I would like you to introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Mr. Njovu, for this opportunity to share my experiences. My name is Chanda Japheth. I'm the Senior Monitoring and Evaluation Officer for the National Assembly of Zambia. I've been in the evaluation field for slightly above 15 years, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Which ethnic group do you belong to?
I'm Bemba by tribe. Bemba is a tribe in the northern part of Zambia, just somewhere there bordering the Congo DRC and Tanzania.
What is your understanding of indigenous? What does it mean to you?
Well, indigenous for me is something which is local, something which takes into consideration the aspects of the aspirations of the local people, the interests of the local people, and so on and so forth. Everything has to be centered on the local person.
So do you have a translation for monitoring and evaluation?
There are loose translations for both monitoring and evaluation in my culture, basically. But you'll find various aspects of monitoring and evaluation within the same culture, but there is none.
Where did you learn about indigenous evaluation?
I've been fortunate enough to interact with people from all over Africa and across the globe in the monitoring and evaluation space. So through my association with the Centers for Learning on Evaluation and Results, Anglophone Africa, CLEAR AA, which is based in Johannesburg in South Africa, I was privileged to be part of the development evaluation training in Africa, which took place in 2017. During this training, I was introduced to indigenous evaluation, specifically made in Africa evaluations.
You mentioned that indigenous evaluation practices in your ethnic group. Could you give us an example?
Indigenous evaluation in my local culture is basically about taking the local needs into consideration. We are talking about the values, the norms, the culture. So it's a holistic kind of evaluation which endeavors to not only involve the locals, but also to empower the locals in a holistic manner. So when you're talking about the Bemba culture, it's rich in traditions. Like today, there is Kusefia Pangwena. It's a traditional ceremony which basically endeavors to introduce the new generation to the cultural values of olden days. And through practices like these traditional ceremonies, the locals are introduced to various aspects of evaluation, even though they're not calling it evaluation, but it is evaluation when you follow the cycle of evaluation and what is involved in evaluation. So when you look at the leadership, the traditional leadership, the way knowledge is passed on from generation to the other, it's all to do with the aspects of evaluation. So our culture is rich in evaluation. We may not be calling it as evaluation per se, but the aspects of evaluation.
For someone who doesn't understand Bemba, what is Ukusefia Pangwena?
Okay, so translation into English, Ukusefia Pangwena is a traditional ceremony for the Bembas. The major thing, Mwena is crocodile. So Bembas are known as the crocodile clan. The people, like the crocodile is a symbol of the Bemba culture. So this particular traditional ceremony is held annually to celebrate the Bemba culture. So like I indicated, the aspects of evaluation, there are also other aspects within the Bemba culture, which are sort of like passed on from generation to generation. And the idea is just to remind us where we are coming from. Other than reminding us where we're coming from, we also need to know where we are going. Even as we embrace Western technology, Western way of doing things, we need to know that even within our culture, we are quite rich, and there are aspects which we can actually use from our culture to appreciate the Western things that we are used to better. And in any case, these aspects sort of like complement each other. Tradition with the Western knowledge. At the end of the day, you have a holistic view of stuff, and you have, in this particular case, evaluations which are rich because they're informed by local context.
So the ceremony has something to do with crossing a river, and you being from the crocodile clan are inclined to have a relationship with the river. Is it so?
Yes, in a way, yes. When you're crossing the river, you know that the river is crocodile infested. You need to learn how to navigate, how best you cross that river without being like dinner for the crocodiles. So you are taught the do's and don'ts, the norms and the values through the practice of this traditional ceremony. You get to learn about life, the kind of life which you need to survive. So it's quite a rich cultural traditional ceremony.
And the name of your ethnic group means a large mass of water, isn't it? Vemba.
Vemba, yes, like sea. Vemba, direct translation is sea.
Okay.
Sea like ocean, as in ocean.
But there is no sea in Chinsali, but you call yourself Vemba.
Well, you understand, if you read African history, where we are coming from as Bembas, the Luba Lunda Kingdom, from the Congo basin there, going up there, coming down, crossing all these rivers until we settled in the northern part of the country where we are currently. You might be interested to note that the northern region actually is blessed with a number of water resources. We have the Tanganyika lake bordering Eastern Africa there, where we have Tanzania, Uganda, no, not Uganda, sorry, Rwanda, Burundi, Congo DRC, and Zambia. We have Lake Mweru, bordering Congo. Then just within the country, we have Lake Bangweulu. Those are like big lakes, huh? Big lakes. Then we have rivers like the Luapula and so on and so forth. So we are basically a people whose livelihood sort of like interacts a lot with water resources, and the wisdom, the culture, and everything else is sort of like centered around water development and the things which we can learn as we interact with nature.
That's interesting. The people of the sea, though there is no sea in Chinsali.
Our lakes are big seas.
Tell me briefly your experiences in your evaluation journey.
Well, it's been exciting. Like I indicated, my journey into the evaluation space started a long time ago, about over 15 years ago. I've had various experiences, very positive ones, and some not so good. And yeah, it's been very exciting. I've been privileged to work for both the central government and also the NGO space. I work for United Nations Development Program under a program called United Nations Volunteers. Part of my responsibilities included monitoring and evaluation. I did a number of evaluations there. It was exciting. There was a lot of donor support, a lot of goodwill. From there, I went to a quasi-government institution, the Examinations Council of Zambia. I was in the research department. We did a lot of evaluations. I was privileged to participate in a number of evaluation trainings. From Examinations Council of Zambia, I moved to the legislative arm of government, which is Parliament. And at Parliament, I've been there. This is my 7th year serving in the monitoring and evaluation department. So you can see that my experience in evaluation spans a space of slightly over 15 years. And during this 15-year period, I've worked in the education sector, conducting evaluation in the education sector. education assessment with the Examinations Council, which is examination-related assessment, but focusing on evaluation again. Public health with the UNV program. And now we are looking at the governance aspects, but still conducting evaluation. So it's been quite exciting, but some things actually, generally, the things to do with evaluation, the issues around evaluation are similar. There is a low uptake of evaluation findings, mostly because of lack of knowledge, or very few people are sensitized about what evaluation is supposed to be and not be. So there are a lot of myths and misconceptions. It's an exciting field where there's always that aspect of learning. You need to how to navigate, how best to get your results, how to disseminate this to what kind of audience, and so on and so forth. So such things cut across evaluation in the different sectors. Even the challenges are similar. Take, for example, the legislative arm of government. It's supposed to be at the apex of accountability in national development. Now, you have a situation where this is an institution in charge of oversight for the nation, but then evaluation should be really like a big thing in an institution like the National Assembly. Unfortunately, it is not. This is when, like, now the tide is changing, people beginning to appreciate. So I'll give you an example. Up until 2019, the National Assembly of Zambia did not have a monitoring and evaluation department. So monitoring and evaluation is a relatively new thing in Parliament. When it's new, you have teething issues. You find maybe there's no budget line for monitoring and evaluation. Previously, there was none. There is no staff to conduct evaluation. When I talk about staff, we are talking about specialized skills to interrogate and commission evaluation and conduct evaluations professionally. Now we have a situation where sometimes some of the things we do as an institution leaves much to be desired. Wish we could do better, but currently there's a lot of goodwill from the leadership of my institution, the National Assembly. They're supporting us to push the monitoring and evaluation agenda, and we have a whole range of activities ranging from capacity building, networking, collision building, and so on and so forth. We are receiving that support, and most importantly, there is a budgetary allocation for evaluation, which we are supposed to use to conduct evaluations in the institution.
That's very good.